So, all right. So let's continue. Whose turn was it? What two things can you do at the same time? Whose turn was it? Who was sharing some of their talent?
I think you were saying about your brother because it was me that was participating, but I didn't give like good examples. But you were saying something about your brother. I think in that
What?
we were doing.
Oh, okay. So what I was saying about my brother is that if he is driving and he receives a phone call, he will pull over before answering. You know, he does that kind of things, and I don't. If I'm driving and I receive a phone call, I'll answer it. And if they're asking for something, I'll start looking for it. You know, we're different, a little different. So who's next? Who would like to share? Who already shared something with us? That was Ariadna and Dario, right? So what about you, Leslie?
Talking about brother, my brother is really good being multitasking. He can doing his, his homework and watch a video and play at the same time. I don't know who, but he's really, I think he's really smart because he learns and he understands all. He can remember that thing.
Even though he was playing video games. Wow,
Yeah,
that is amazing. Thank you, Leslie. What about you, Saida? Can you share something with us?
I can do housework and listen to music.
Okay, there you go. Housework and listen to music. Now, what we're going to do is listen. What do they think about multitasking? All right.
All these people with headphones on, working, emailing, messaging. I couldn't possibly do that.
Me neither.
I mean, multitasking is supposedly an essential skill these days, and theoretically, you can pack 12 hours into an 8-hour day, but I'm skeptical. You can't possibly concentrate on more than one thing.
Well, I was reading about this recently, and evidently, if you're multitasking, you're either doing things badly or not at all.
So, there's been research on this, presumably?
Yeah. Apparently, they gave people these tasks to do and found that high multitaskers weren't just slower, they had poor memories and couldn't switch tasks easily either. So being able to multitask is really a myth and might even be harmful.
Sounds like there's a lot to be said for doing one thing at a time.
Well, it's almost invariably more efficient. And ironically, the people who said they were bad at multitasking performed better than those who said they were good at it, and vice versa.
Maybe I'd be better at it than I thought then.
So what do you think about multitasking?
They said that people that do like this multitasking are slower, and that they don't do like very good the task.
Okay.
No, they mentioned that people that just do one thing at the moment do better than the other ones that do like two things.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, because
All these
he also mentioned that he is skeptical because it's better when you concentrate better in doing one thing right and not too many things. How you say a medias?
Halfway.
Wait.
Do they multitask?
No,
They don't.
they don't. No.
What does the research say about it? Any ideas? Who is better at multitasking? Is he a good is he good at multitasking? Uh-oh, I have the wrong audio here. Let me get it for you.
Page 24, lesson C. Invariably, it's more efficient.
There, can you hear
One,
audio?
conversation strategy. Signaling expectations. B, listen. What does the research that Lucia read say about multitasking?
All these people with headphones on, working, emailing, messaging. I couldn't possibly do that.
Me neither.
I mean, multitasking is supposedly an essential skill these days, and theoretically, you pack 12 hours into an 8-hour day, but I'm skeptical. You can't possibly concentrate on more than one thing.
Well, I was reading about this recently, and evidently, if you're multitasking, you're either doing things badly or not at all.
So, there's been research on this, presumably?
Yeah. Apparently, they gave people these tasks to do and found that high multitaskers weren't just slower, they had poor memories and couldn't switch tasks easily either. So being able to multitask is really a myth and might even be harmful.
Sounds like there's a lot to be said for doing one thing at a time.
Well, it's almost invariably more efficient. And ironically, the people who said they were bad at multitasking performed better than those who said they were good at it, and vice versa.
Maybe I'd be better at it than I thought then.
All right. So what do you think about multitasking?
I fully agree what they said and about the research. Yeah, I mean, I think that probably you can do a couple of things at the same time, but not with the same quality. And also concentration, I think it's important. And I heard that is you like generate like a stress. I mean, it's stressful because you are doing many things. And yeah, I think it's like harmful for your brain and for like for you in general. So yeah, I fully agree.
All right, good. So do they multitask? No. What about who is better at multitasking?
They mentioned that people who said that they are not good at multitasking are better than the ones that say that they are.
Is he good at multitasking?
He said he wasn't.
He said he wasn't. All right, so I want to show you the dialogue and you can listen again.
All these people with headphones on, work.
I'm sorry, my internet is back, so I'm gonna stop my cell phone internet.
Yeah.
So if you hear a pause, just wait for me. Perfect. I did connect to my internet provider without being paused. Beautiful. I'm gonna save the data, so if the power goes back out, goes out again, I will be working like that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do this, present you the dialogue. You can open your book, page 24. Listen and read.
Working, email. All these people with headphones on, working, emailing, messaging. I couldn't possibly do that.
Me neither.
I mean, multitasking is supposedly an essential skill these days, and theoretically, you can pack 12 hours into an 8-hour day, but I'm skeptical. You can't possibly concentrate on more than one thing.
Well, I was reading about this recently, and evidently, if you're multitasking, you're either doing things badly or not at all.
So, there's been research on this, presumably?
Yeah. Apparently, they gave people these tasks to do and found that high multitaskers weren't just slower, they had poor memories and couldn't switch tasks easily either. So being able to multitask is really a myth and might even be harmful.
Sounds like there's a lot to be said for doing one thing at a time.
Well, it's almost invariably more efficient. And ironically, the people who said they were bad at multitasking performed better than those who said they were good at it, and vice versa.
Maybe I'd be better at it than I thought then.
There.
All the
So what do they think about multitasking?
Okay, what about multitasking? It's hard, but you're meant to do it. It's really, I think that I share the same opinion that Lucia. It's worth for you. It's really useful for seeing in what task you are capable of doing right and what task you're capable of doing wrong.
Where is that?
Come on.
Where is that? What you just said, where is it?
Mhm.
What do they think about multitasking? For example, one example of that is from Rashad, who says you can't possibly concentrate on more than one thing.
Mhm.
Right? So that's one opinion. Is there another opinion about multitasking?
Yeah, apparently they gave people these tasks to do and found that high multitaskers were just slower. They had
Right.
good memories and couldn't switch tasks easily. Either
Mhm.
some be able to multitask is really a myth and might even be harmful.
Harmful. Right, you're correct. However, do they multitask?
No.
No. It says, I couldn't possibly do that. And Lucia says, me neither. So no, they don't multitask.
Yeah,
What does the research say about it? That's what you said. That's what you mentioned, Ariadna. What does the research say? So first she says, I was reading over here, Lucia says, I was reading about this recently. And evidently, if you're multitasking, you're either doing things badly or not at all.
Not at all.
So he mentions there's been a research on this. And she says, apparently,
they gave people these tasks and to the phone, and high multitaskers weren't just slower. They have poor memories and couldn't switch tasks easily either. So being able to be multitask is really a myth. It might even be helpful.
So what does the research say? The research does not say apparently, and the research does not say they gay people. What does the research say? The research says that high multitaskers weren't just slower.
They have poor
They have
memories.
poor
and they
memories.
couldn't switch tasks easily either. Beyond multitask is really a myth and might even be harmful.
There you go. Yes. And next, who is better at multitasking?
I think for me, the woman.
Nope. Well, of course, I understand that's your opinion. I was thinking of the dialogue, the conversation. So who is better at multitasking according to the conversation between Lucia and Rashad? And they mentioned the research findings. So who is better at multitasking? The people who said, yes, mister, go ahead.
Okay.
So basically the short answer, who is better at multitasking? So the people who said they were bad at multitasking. That's who the research says is better at multitasking. Now, the last question is he. Is he good at multitasking? But who is he? Well, we're talking about Rashad and Lucia. So he is Rashad. Is he good at multitasking? According to the research, the people who said that they were bad at multitasking performed better. And Rashad said, I couldn't possibly do that. So according to the research, he says, maybe I'd be better at it than I thought. So is he good at multitasking? According to the research findings, yes. Correct?
But I think they are talking about performance, not about multitasking. So you are not good at multitasking. If you are bad at multitasking, it sounds like illogical. I think they are talking about performance, not really about multitasking.
You mean the results?
Exactly.
All right. So does that mean that the question, this one is misinstructed?
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I mean, I think it will be better to ask about the performance, not about multitasking by itself.
Right. It's taking from the text. We're bad at or we're good at, it's, I understand. And basically this is a conversational study. We're studying a conversational speech sort of thing, right? So on the correctness of it, of course, we have many things that we can check. This is like this and this is not like that. However, when we speak, most of the time, how we speak is not the correct way. And we find the correct way when we write it, when we need to make an essay or a report or an article, or simply write a message. For example, when you text on a WhatsApp application, whether on your cell phone or your computer, do you ever use abbreviations? That sort of thing, right?
Sometimes.
So we tend to send a message the way we speak, and the way we speak is not always the correct form, but is a major mean of communication, correct? That's how we communicate with each other. And notice how Rashad and Lucia use adverbs. Here is the strategy. Adverbs to signal what they predict, expect, or assume to be true. Once again, what is signal? To give a sign of. And this time is in the form of a verb. To signal. So to indicate what your intention is. That's what it is, intention, to signal, to demonstrate your intention. In this case, the intention could be your prediction, your expectation, or your assumption. Things like that. So adverbs can express what you predict. When you predict something, when you have some or certain information, and then you make a judgment. I think this is going to be like this, and you can use an adverb for that. And these adverbs, predictably, inevitably, invariably, mean that you're making a prediction. Adverbs can express what you expect. So that's expectations, what you think is coming because of whatever information you gathered, presumably, supposedly, and things you don't expect or didn't expect, ironically. Ironically is more for past tense, for things you didn't expect. And things as you assume to be true, evidently, apparently, and supposedly. You think it's possible, potentially, theoretically, and ideally. Let's find examples in the conversation. Let's see. Thank you, supposedly. Is there more? Theoretically. Possibly, yes. Presumably. Badly. Apparently. Ironically. Invariably. That's it, or is there more? Are there any other adverbs in your book that might be hidden? There you go, easily. Is there another adverb hidden in this area that I covered? Possibly. Now, if you want to check, we have this, I'm sorry, yeah, evidently. We can check that on the first adverb we see possibly is not really in this box, right? So the intention of this adverb possibly is different and is not listed yet. So we can see that later. However, we have more adverbs and the next one is supposedly. So what adverb is this? Or actually, what is the intention of it? That's something that is expected. Yes, multitasking is expected to be an essential skill. Right? Have you ever seen that? Have you ever experienced that? That some people expect you to do many things at the same time?
Yeah, it's common, like in job posting, they use like this, like a good ability. It's pretty common, but what it means is that you are going to work in a disorganized company. That is what it means. So yeah, it's not good.
Maybe. Right. You know what I used to think about it is that they want you to do a lot of things, right? So they want you to assume that you're going to be required to do many things. I know. Theoretically, this is over here theoretically. So the intention of this is that the person thinks it's possible in theory. So theoretically, so supposedly be theoretically correct or possible, you can pack 12 hours of work into an 8-hour day. Yeah, that's a little crazy. Possibly, again, is not here. So the intention of possibly, we're going to see in a couple of minutes. Evidently, we have, oh my goodness, where is evidently? Right here. Assumed to be true. So she believes this article. I was reading about this recently, and evidently, so she assumes that these findings in the article that she read is true. Then we have badly. Is this here in this little box? Nope. So what is the intention of this adverb? Is only describing the verb doing. Right? That's all we're doing. We're describing the verb. The next one we have presumably. And presumably is over here. Expect. Okay. So he expect in the form of a question. Actually, this is a tag question. There's been research on this, presumably. Okay. Apparently, assumed to be true. Yeah, again, she assumes to be true. Easily, is that here? Nope, easily is not here. So what is the intention of easily? The intention of easily is describe the verb switch. That's what it's doing. The next one is invariably. And the last one is ironically. Okay. Now, we're supposed to practice the conversation, but I think I wasted a little time on the internet deal. So let's jump on the next activity. Rewrite the sentences, replacing the underlined words with the adverbs form of the words in bold. Then discuss information with the partner. Easy. Number one, mothers are supposed to spend a lot of time multitasking than fathers, or so people say. So the underlying words are supposed to. How can we switch this to an adverb form? Can somebody give an opinion?
Yes, supposedly. Use supposedly instead of are supposed to.
Yes, mothers supposedly spend a lot of time multitasking. A lot more time multitasking than fathers, or so people say. So what about next one? The invariable belief is that, how can we change that to another form?
Invariably
Invariably.
beliefs
Yes.
Hello,
they
guys.
are making dinner.
Did the class cut out?
Invariably.
Or...
Okay.
Can you hear me?
What, mister? Can you repeat, please?
Okay, invariably.
Did
Invariably.
the class cut off or just it was my connection, my internet connection?
Oh, okay. So what happened? Do you have an answer?
Yeah. Okay.
Supposedly. Okay. The next one is the
Invariably.
invariable belief. Invariably.
Beliefs.
Yes, guys. What do you have for that one? For number the next one. Invariably. Yes.
Beliefs.
Invariably beliefs. Will that be a complete and correct expression?
Okay, invariably.
Like this? Like that?
No, beliefs. Beliefs. Son creencias.
Okay, what do you guys think? Leslie, Saida, Dario, and Felipe? Invariably believes they're making.
I would put a comma, invariably comma, the beliefs they are making, something like that.
Invariably. Like that. Beliefs, but what is this? A noun or a verb?
A noun.
So beliefs is a noun and they, what is they?
A pronoun.
Yes, and what is this pronoun stand for? What does this pronoun stand for?
Subject?
A subject. So can we put beliefs and they together?
No,
Possibly.
it sounds.
That's a good one. We will need a connector. Yes, but we have no connector. Beliefs will be a specific noun. As for they, is a substitution of a noun. It's a pronoun. So not really. There is no context to connect these two.
Okay. Entonces sería invariably.
Invariably, they are making dinner and helping the kids with the homework. Who is they? Who are they talking? Who is they?
Mother.
Mothers. Yes. Mothers
Uh-huh.
over here. Mothers.
I got it.
Please,
Thank you.
please continue with the rest. Potential, appears, evidence, ideal, potential again, ironic, presume, and the rest, please. And then we'll compare answers in a couple of minutes.
Sorry, teacher, I got lost. My internet connection was cutting off.
Stuck?
What
Yeah, okay.
we are supposed to do here?
All of these words that are underlined. Number 2, there is the potential that,
Yes.
and then it appears that, and there is evidence that, and so forth. Changed all of those with an adverb form.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Is
Yes.
that exercise in the book?
Yeah, this is in the book, page 24.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. How are you doing, guys? Are you finished?
Almost.
Okay. Finished, guys? I'll be right back in like 20 seconds. Okay. Just 20 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, guys, I'm back. Are you finished? I hope you are.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So let's check it out. Please compare your answers. All right. Do you know how to compare answers?
I mean, basically, it's just adding L and white, and that's it.
I know. So, oh my goodness. What do you have for number? Now you answer. I have. What about
I
you?
I was doing the exercise by looking at the screen because I couldn't find the page. I looked for page 24, but I don't have the exercise in that page. So I don't know if I have the right book.
Okay, I'll show you. I'll show you the book and you let me know if you have the book or not.
Mhm.
Okay, so if your answer is the same, what do you have number four? What do you have for number 3? I have this answer. What about you? Your answer, I have. What did I do? If the answer is the same, good. If the answer is different, ask why. Whoa, what is that? There. Yes, does that make sense? So I'm gonna erase this. Actually, I'm gonna show the book. My God, here it is. All right, this is the book, Saida. When you open it, the first thing you should see is this page. Unit 1, a great read. Is this what you see or not?
It's a great read, but I don't know if it is another edition because it doesn't appear the same content.
Okay, then let's go to page 24. Wow.
Yes, just as I said, it's the same name of the topic, but they are different exercises.
All right, what about the rest of you guys?
For me, it's okay. I think the PDF page is 15,
Yes,
but like the books page is
24.
24, exactly, yeah. But yes,
Oh.
I have the same thing.
It's because I have the workbook and the one that you are presenting is the student book and I don't have that one.
You don't have the student book?
No, they just sent me the workbook.
Okay. Perhaps let me ask if they can send it to you right away.
Or is it in the Cambridge platform that you are using also?
You can also find it in the Cambridge platform, but you're not going to see the PDF book. You're going to see the interactive book, which is the same topics, the same everything, but in an interactive form.
Okay.
So the book is sent to you by it's an
WhatsApp.
email link. No, it's a link because it's a very heavy file. How heavy is it, guys? It's like 100, not 100, but like
Yes, they sent me the link, but from the workbook on WhatsApp.
is 137 megs. And WhatsApp will not transfer anything over 100, right? Correct, guys? Is that correct? How did you guys receive it?
By email, I think so.
It's an email and it's a link. It's a link that expires in 24 hours. So you click on the link, it will take you to this website, and the website says you have a file, right? If you want it, click on the download section, and you click on the download, and it will download to your computer or cell phone. That's the
Well,
only way.
They didn't send me because the book they sent me for in WhatsApp because I arrived late to the class. So they sent me the link on WhatsApp, but just for the workbook, not the student book. But I can still be working like this way if you share the screen, and then
Absolutely.
I will. Thank you.
You're very welcome. There it is. All right. So what are your answers, guys? Let's work on this. Number 1. Let's call this 1B. 2, 2B. And etc. Please compare your answers and let's start working on them.
Okay, in the first one I think we have already done the first one. It's supposedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think is invariably. We have already done that one. And the next one, apparently. I think so. No, it's not apparently, it's potentially, I'm sorry.
The next one is apparently.
Yep. And the next one is evidently, I think so.
Yes, evidently. Yes, I got the same.
And then ideally, I think so. Ideally.
Ideally, yes.
Ideally. Mhm. The next one could be ideally, potentially.
Yes. Okay, so the problem is that I didn't put numbers to my answers. That's why I'm kind of lost.
That's all right. I can erase this. For example, let's work on 3B. Ideal thing is. And then the potential. Good. Some people think multitasking makes them more productive, which is ironic.
Ironically.
Ironically.
Mhm.
Next.
Presumably.
Presumably, yes.
Invariably, not theoretically.
Theoretically.
Mhm.
Invariably.
Invariably. Inevitably. Inevitably. ¿Cómo se dice?
And this one, inevitably. What about this one?
Which one?
This one right here.
Oh. A ver. ¿Qué escribí ahí? A ver. ¿Alguien sabe? Yo no sé.
No, this one?
No.
All right. There is
What
starts with
about presumably? Might be
presumably or
supposedly.
okay. Invariably. So the number 5 is theoretically. And the last one is inevitably. Ah, but I'm missing one. The second last is to, we can say either of these guys. Assume to be true, evidently, apparently, or supposedly. Yes. Now, what you have to do discuss the information with the partner. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I agree.
With which one? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And why?
Ah, you mean not with the answers, with the statements, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's go in sessions. I want to send you this slide to the WhatsApp group. There, I sent it to the WhatsApp group in case you don't have it. And what we're going to do is go in sessions so you guys can work with a classmate. Perfect. Let's go, guys. Go ahead, please. What you gotta do is basically ask each other, do you agree with number 1? Mothers inevitably are multitask a lot more than fathers? 2, etc. Right? Number 1B, 2 to B, etc. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. Let's go. Let's have 2 or 3 minutes for this. How was the little chat? Interesting. Wow, Darío and Leslie are still at it. Hello, Leslie. You left Darío by himself.
Okay.
No? Here he is. Hello, guys. Welcome back. Thank you very much. How was the little chat? Was it interesting?
Yes, yes.
Good. We have a strategy plus. Can't possibly. Now we have here the other possibly, but next to the model can't. You can use can't possibly or couldn't possibly to emphasize that something is impossible. We have the example, you can't possibly concentrate on more than one thing. So it's impossible to concentrate on more than one thing. That's what it means. Listen to 5 people talk about multitasking. Number the summaries of their views 1 to 5. Yes, so we can work on this slide. Yes, you have here topic number 1 is all young people do it. Next is you get less work done. Next is it's dangerous while driving, or it affects your concentration. And the last one is it's actually pretty easy. So let's listen to them and number the topics, the summaries.
One.
Well, if you get distracted, not only by your cell phone, but also by someone sitting next to you talking. I mean, potentially, you might end up killing someone. You should concentrate on the road. A car is like the one place where you definitely shouldn't be multitasking. It's just stupid.
2.
One thing that interests me is that when you interrupt a task, like, say, to check email or answer the phone, it takes about 25 minutes to get back into the task, supposedly. I mean, that's a lot of time. It's no wonder a lot of people say they work better at home and do more.
3.
What interests me about the research is that it's the high multitaskers who can't concentrate on the one thing they were asked to do. So it sounds like it's not good for your ability to think or concentrate for any length of time.
4.
I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical about all this research. You know, supposedly, psychologists claim you can't do more than one thing at a time. But I mean, what's so hard about cooking and talking on the phone? Or watching TV and answering an email? It's just not that difficult.
5.
I have to say, you can't really expect young people not to multitask all the time. I mean, it's what they were brought up with. They watch TV at the same time as surfing online, or they're checking messages when they're doing homework, or whatever. I mean, you'd like them to do one thing at a time, ideally, but it's not going to happen. It's what they do.
All right, guys, can you compare some answers, please?
Yeah, so the first one, I think it's dangerous while driving, because the audio says that you could potentially kill someone.
Yeah, I have the same one, number 1 in that one. Yep. And number 2, I have number 2 is, for me, is you get less work done. That is number 2 for me.
Yes,
what
I
do
have the same thing.
What was the number 1? Sorry.
Number
It's
1
dangerous.
is it's dangerous to while driving.
Number 2.
You get less work done. Okay.
Okay, and number 3, it affects your concentration.
Yeah, I have that one also.
Mhm.
And number 4, it's actually pretty easy.
Yeah, I got the same. And number 5, all young people do it.
Yes, yeah.
Very good. So what about Saida and Leslie? What do you ladies have? Your classmates have this. This is 1. You said this is 2, right?
Yes.
3, 4, and 5. So Saida and Leslie, do you agree with your classmates? Or do you have a different opinion?
Yes, I agree.
Awesome. So these are the correct answers. So now with the same story, read the responses below. Right, you couldn't possibly say that multitasking is a good skill to have then. Now, which conversation is this? Conversation 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? If you have your answers on your book, these answers, then you can have an idea of what conversations these are.
First one might be number 4, right?
4?
I think so.
Okay. Continue, please. Continue with all of them and then compare your answers.
Yeah, it sounds good to me, the answer of number 4 in number 1. So yeah, I think it sounds for me correct.
No, I think the second one is number 4.
For me, the number 4 could be, yeah,
Oh,
it can
yeah.
be possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's better.
Okay.
And the next one, third one is number 1, I think.
Number 1, yeah, because it's about driving. Yeah.
The number 1 is could be right. You could possibly, you couldn't put, no, forget it. I'm wrong. Sorry. The number 1, yes, is right. You can't possibly concentrate on driving if you're on the phone.
And the next one, I think so, is number 5. It's about young people. So I mean, you can't possibly expect them to do anything different. I think that is number 5.
Maybe.
And I think the last one is number 2.
Yeah.
So the first one is number 3, by elimination.
By elimination, I know. All right, so let's listen to the audio one more time and check.
Maybe.
1.
Well, if you get distracted, not only by your cell phone, but also by someone sitting next to you talking. I mean, potentially, you might end up killing someone. You should concentrate on the road. A car is like the one place where you definitely shouldn't be multitasking. It's just stupid.
2.
One thing that interests me is that when you interrupt a task, like, say, to check email or answer the phone, it takes about 25 minutes to get back into the task, supposedly. I mean, that's a lot of time. It's no wonder a lot of people say they work better at home and do more.
3.
What interests me about the research is that it's the high multitaskers who can't concentrate on the one thing they were asked to do. So it sounds like it's not good for your ability to think or concentrate for any length of time.
4.
I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical about all this research. You know, supposedly, psychologists claim you can't do more than one thing at a time. But I mean, what's so hard about cooking and talking on the phone? Or watching TV and answering an email? It's just not that difficult.
5.
I have to say, you can't really expect young people not to multitask all the time. I mean, it's what they were brought up with. They watch TV at the same time as surfing online, or they're checking messages when they're doing homework, or whatever. I mean, you'd like them to do one thing at a time, ideally, but it's not going to happen. It's what they do.
So how are your answers? Any changes?
No.
No,
I
right?
think
They
it's
stay
right.
the same.
No, it's
Yeah, that's very good. Listen again and write your own responses. All right, if you don't want to respond or listen again, what you can do is write your own responses in a piece of paper, like of course your notebook. What would your own responses be?
So about the same statements, you mean like?
Yes, about the same statements in the audio. What we can do is I can play the audio one at a time and you can answer. Would you like to listen one at a time?
Yes, please.
1,
Well, if you get distracted, not only by your cell phone, but also by someone sitting next to you talking. I mean, potentially, you might end up killing someone. You should concentrate on the road. A car is like the one place where you definitely shouldn't be multitasking. It's just stupid.
What can you say?
It's like adding more information, right? Because there's no like really a question, right?
Right, it's a response, actually. A response. These are responses. And for example, for number 1 is this one. It's a response. Right. You can't possibly concentrate on driving if you're on the phone. Of course, this is the book's answer. The book's response. What about you? What would your response be?
I will say that nowadays, like distractions while you are driving, I think is the number one, or like texting or answering your phone calls is the number one reason or cause to have an accident, you know, on the road.
Yes, cause of having an accident, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, let's go to number 2.
I would.
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, mister.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
I would say that ironically, a lot of people do it nowadays.
That's right, Mr. Ironically. Yes.
I would like to add, sorry, being multitasking in a car is stupid.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Especially if you're driving and you are going to answer a message that it could be a meme or it could be just like a emoji. Yeah, that's stupid, but it happens.
Yeah, that's really bad.
So you potentially you can killing someone. So that's right. You be more careful.
Yes. Anybody else? Next, number 2.
Where you definitely shouldn't be multitasking. It's just stupid.
Next.
2,
One thing that interests me is that when you interrupt a task, like, say, to check email or answer the phone, it takes about 25 minutes to get back into the task, supposedly. I mean, that's a lot of time. It's no wonder a lot of people say they work better at home and do more.
In my opinion, I will say that it's too long, like 25 minutes.
I know.
But I believe that you need also time to get into the activity that you were doing before. Definitely you need to invest more time. Probably, I don't know if you are doing something like reading again or try to look where were you doing. Yeah, it happens all the time. So you lose time when you do this, definitely.
I know. Anybody else? If I can, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with the audio because when I was studying my specialty, it took me too much time to get concentrated if I got my cell phone near to me. But if I turn it off, I finish like really fast my essays and all these things.
Anybody? Anything else? No?
Yes. One interesting thing for me is when you're interrupting or you really concentrate hard doing something, it takes 25 minutes. Even I'm not agree about that. I think it takes you more than 25 minutes. sometimes to get back to your previous task. So that's a problem that you say that multitasking it's good, it's a good skill, but no,
Not really.
you at the end you do less than you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Number 3 or somebody else? Number 3, let's go to number 3.
3.
What interests me about the research is that it's the high multitaskers who can't concentrate on the one thing they were asked to do. So it sounds like it's not good for your ability to think or concentrate for any length of time.
Nobody?
Mm,
Leslie?
I really
Go.
don't know what to do.
No? Well, the response? Nothing for the response? Or would you like to listen to it again?
Could we listen it again?
Sure.
Thank you.
The one thing they were asked. What interests me about the research is that it's the high multitaskers who can't concentrate on the one thing they were asked to do. So it sounds like it's not good for your ability to think or concentrate for any length of time.
Yeah, I would say that when you do many things at the same time, then you are going to have problems with concentration. So it will be difficult to you to concentrate in one thing because your brain or your is like you have like this custom that is working in many things at the same time, but when it's just only one thing, so I think you need to do something else like texting or doing something, and that is like really complicated because sometimes you need to focus just on one thing. So that will be a consequence or a problem for multitasking people.
A focusing problem, right? They're not used to focusing on one thing.
Our students, I mean, they have this problem a lot. They cannot concentrate in the tests, for example, because they are combining like cell phone with classes, everything like combining. So that's really hard to understand, but that's true.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Saida, Ariadna, Leslie, Dario, anything else?
For me, the most interesting for me is that you can be able to concentrate in anything if you are multitasking. Why? Because at the same time they ask you an amount of time for doing certain things. If you don't do it, it's so stressful for you, and you only focus yourself in finish, and no matter how it's well done or badly, at the end it's not a good. It's what I mentioned. It could be reading between lines. It's a good skill, really. For me, no.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's go to number 4.
4.
I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical about all this research. You know, supposedly, psychologists claim you can't do more than one thing at a time. But I mean, what's so hard about cooking and talking on the phone? Or watching TV and answering an email? It's just not that difficult.
Leslie, anything?
I think there will be some things what we can do at the same time. but there are some other things which you definitely don't do, like drive and send message. You know, there are some things which need all your concentration.
Right. So you're saying that you can't drive and send messages, right? Or you said you could? Oh, you can't. Okay.
I can.
Yeah. And of course, some people don't have car, but some people do have a car, and driving is an everyday activity, right? And so it's sending a message, but you still can't or shouldn't do it. Maybe. Okay. Anybody else?
I think that is a good point. I think I would like to separate like these kind of categories, I would say. Like easy activities, yes, you can combine it. Of course, listen music and doing something is it's not really difficult, and there's no risk. But if you want to do an essay and then texting or listen to music, or I don't know, it could be difficult. And of course, driving while you are doing something else is like, it could be something very dangerous. But these examples about this conversation, about this opinion, I will say that, yeah, that's in a different category, and that's fine to do it. I think so.
Good. I'd like to share a little bit of I'm not sure how to call it. I actually heard this debate. I'm not sure. I don't remember what it was, but I listened to it. And it said that when we multitask, it's an early stage of the multitasking when it was becoming kind of popular. It said that the only things that you can multitask are when you do only two things, no more than two. And one of them does not require your attention. And it was a little funny to say, what do you mean it doesn't require attention? They gave it a funny name, which I don't recall, but it said they used the example of a shirt, buttoning up a shirt. They said the first time when you're a little kid and your mother tells you button up your shirt and you don't know how, your full concentration is on it. You're trying to handle, you're trying to maneuver your fingers, you're trying to skillfully achieve the mission to insert the button on the eye, which at first is not easy. But then we do it every day for so many years that when we're grown-ups, we do it without even thinking about it. That's an activity you do without focus. You do it like, I forget the word they used. So you can do an activity which does not require your focus. You can do it by memory, by muscle memory, because the other activity requires your attention. Then you might. Right? What do you think about it? Because I agree with it.
I agree with your statement.
I'm agree with your statement too, because sometimes how hard is, for example, I don't know, or takes I don't know, scrambled eggs when I don't know, other hand, I don't know, serve the coffee, for example. There are some activities that are not so hard, but others that requires your full attention, and that's why it's the problem. When you hold the activities on the same time, it requires your attention. Activities like that, that's simple and easy to tasks to do. It's not that it's not a big deal, but when in the other, however, in the other activities, yes, there could be a problem.
Right, it could be a problem. Okay, if there is nothing else, let's go for the last one.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, mister. If you have something to say.
I was gonna do. I want to make share an example.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I used to listen to the teachers and draw at the same time. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm drawing and listening.
I know.
And it helps me concentrate because I don't know how to explain the process, but every time that I do a line, let's say, I'm getting what you are doing, what you are saying,
Mhm.
kind of better. I don't know how to explain it.
I'm not
but-
sure. I'm not sure what you're trying to say exactly, Mister. But I can share with you my own experience. I do
Okay.
the same, and I don't know how to draw. And drawing is not one of the activities that I like to do. Like not even for distraction or a hobby. But when I have to take a workshop or a lecture or a meeting or things like that that require my mental attention, right? I don't have to watch the presentation. I don't have to do an activity with my hands. All I have to do is pay attention with my mind. My eyes will get distracted and will distract my mind easily. So I have to draw whatever, even if it's just lines. And
Right.
that will tie my mind into the lecture. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It helps you concentrate.
Yeah, it happens to me. All right. Anything else?
And I think that is the principle of mandalas. I don't know how to say that in English.
Yeah. The
Mandalas.
mandalas.
I don't know. But nowadays they're pretty common. You know, they
I
have
think
a
they
lot
call
of
it syndrome. Don't they call it
Okay.
syndrome? I'm not sure. I'll look it up. But yeah, go ahead, Mr. Continue.
No, I just wanted to say that it's like the main principle that you said that
Mhm.
are helpful to concentrate and also to relieve stress. So
Mhm.
I think there's a specific studies about that, about if you, I think if you are sad, you should like draw lines or circles or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember exactly, but it's something that is like scientifically, or it has like basis on science or researchers.
Scientific research. Yes.
So I think, yeah, there are good examples what you said of. I think so.
Right. Right. Yes, that's right. Okay. What about the ladies? Anything to share?
It's like type in the laptop or in the computer. You know, there are some people who learn and they are doing two things. They are reading and they are not watching the keyboard because
Uh-huh.
they learn where are the things.
I know that's interesting. I know people that can do that. Guys, it's 6 p.m. Would you like to finish the last audio or do you want to go to break and then we'll continue after the break?
Let's finish.
Let's finish. Yes, perfect.
I have to say, you can't really expect young people not to multitask all the time. I mean, it's what they were brought up with. They watch TV at the same time as surfing online, or they're checking messages when they're doing homework, or whatever. I mean, you'd like them to do one thing at a time, ideally, but it's not going to happen. It's what they do.
No responses.
Yeah, my opinion is that young people are presumably better at multitasking, but that is not exactly healthy for them. They're just used to doing it, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I have a little a niece who likes to do her homework, which is writing reports on her notebook while listening to music and watching a TV show at the same time. And I've always been against it. If I witness it, I can't help to say it. Come on, do one thing only, you know?
Yeah, I think that it would be one difference between young people, I mean, or younger than us, that marks like the difference in the generation that we belong, because I think they were born in this age where it's like a multitasking is well known, and with these smartphones and technology, it's even easier to do this, like to concentrate in different things. So yeah, I think that is one of the characteristics with this new generation. So and I think is not good, as we have seen before in the previous information that we have had.
Right. What about the ladies? Anything to share?
Presumably, people believe that people that are young, they are better in being multitask, but at the end, I don't think so, because I would like to share experience when I used to work in government. I was new. I was brand new over there. And there was an old lady. Oh my God, was impressive with the skills. She really was a multitask person. I think she is presumably, apparently, it's believed that young people, not always, just say, oh my God, my first day as Godinez, I stare. I'm paralyzed. I was a puppy here in the corner. I was scared. Almost like
imagine.
that. Yes, it's really intimidated. That lady was really intimidated because she was really good. And she was like 50 years old.
Right.
She was really impressive.
It sounds like she was highly experienced.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot. She has been working there for a long time when I get in. Yeah, go there to work. Yes.
I can imagine. Thank you, Riada. Saida, Leslie, anything? Okay, it's all right. Thank you very much, guys. It is 6 p.m. Let's go take a small break. Let's continue at 6:25. Yeah, is that okay? All right. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you shortly.
Okay.
See you in a moment.
See you in a moment.